We're back!
With more Octopath Traveler 2.
So, I had to restart this section because I wanted to grind. So I got everybody up to at least roughly level 70 with some mid-80s. So, we're gonna start this up. Yep, can't change the day-night cycle.
Hey, a customer.
This is what it means.
It's really ominous not having any music in these battles.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Ooh, a lot of experience here, though. 170 of these battles, and it would be one JP 100 grind Scourge of the Sea that I was doing. No, I'm going the wrong way. So our first location is going to be the Tranquil Grotto.
Even if I stumble, I'll get back up.
Ah, so the little water sections are just basic enemies. Alright.
Hey, a customer.
Oh yeah, I'll also have to mess with everybody's
Now then,
jobs
together
when
now.
the time is right, so I can
Watch this.
learn them all their skills.
I wasn't expecting that.
So they can have all the passives I want them to have. I don't know.
I suggest you get out of my way.
This is what it means. Watch this. I did it.
The encounter rate is still
Even if I
high.
stumble, I'll get back up.
Oh, that's because I actually don't have evasive maneuvers equipped. You can have Hale and Hearty. You can have Hale and Hearty. Currently, you can have evasive maneuvers. Alright, to the first zone. So we are going to the Tranquil Grotto, because that is one of the 4 areas covered in the super thick fog. So now we have the spooky death music.
Oh.
Let the experiment begin.
And because we have the spooky death music, now we have the spooky death enemies.
It's my turn now. I wasn't expecting that.
The more money I have, the easier the final boss will be. So we have 4 of these areas to go. I think 2 of them have bosses in them. As you can see, this is like super dark fog shadow stuff.
I
So,
suggest you get out of my
yeah,
way.
it's bad.
Now then, this is what it means to. Watch this. I did it.
I'm gonna need her to use. I'm gonna need her to have deal more damage equipped so she can actually
Even if
one-shot
I
these weakened
stumble,
dudes.
I'll get back up.
Because her only dealing 9,999 damage is just not enough damage. You know, I kind of get that they have to, but I hate it when games make it so you need an ability to break the
Do
damage
be
cap.
gentle.
Like, just let me always deal uncapped damage.
Watch this. Sorry.
You know?
Thinking time.
Yeah.
We study harder.
Yeah, just let me always deal uncapped damage. What's here? examine. The sacred flame has been doused. Perhaps it can be rekindled with something. Ah, what's this?
Let's have ourselves a showdown.
We are going to show all the Particio down.
Mike, this is what it means. Watch this. I did it. Even if I stumble.
God, Agnia is just
Get
so
back
good.
up.
She just kills everything as the inventor. A statue of Seal Thieves, Lady of Grace. There are words carved into the base. O inheritors of our will, let the mirror shine and rekindle a fire in your heart to chase away the darkness. What? Oh, it's oh. Oh shit. Oh shit, dear. Do you get this? Do you understand?
No.
So, in the day world, before all this happened, we had the cloudy mirror.
Oh, right.
Now it's the shiny mirror.
Whoa.
So, it was the cloudy mirror because it was reflecting this world full of the dark, hazy fog completely covering the world. But since we're now in this world, hey, nothing happened. The two gods gaze upon the sacred flame's dais. Do I have to use it here? What the? Oh, that okay. Okay. I get it. So, for each of these flames, I actually have to bring the two people of the four crossed paths. So here, I have to bring Agnia and Hikari. So now this should work. The mirror reflects the memories of the sacred flame.
It was hope that drove me to live, to survive. Drove me away from death's clutches, to guide others along the same path. But hope was a mistake. There is nothing worth living for. Nothing in this cruel, unsightly world. There is no dawn worth waiting for.
Cool.
What would you give to see the morrow, Lord Ageha?
Kazan?
Kazan,
Kazan was our homie.
why did you betray us?
What?
You lifted up Lord Mugen to the throne, then you tore him down from it.
Wait. What?
An eagle must hide his talons.
So Kazan was the strategist that Hikari had to recruit back from his hometown to help kill Mugen. But here, it says
the
we
only
killed.
way to catch my true quarry.
Oh.
The dark blood blade.
Kazan wants the dark blood
The
stuff?
sacred treasure of Clan Ku. Not an easy thing to steal. Not so long as Mugen stood in my way. So I cut him down with Hikari's sword.
Oh shit, Kazan.
You? What are you?
Did not see that
For
coming.
years I have hidden my intentions from Ku. My very name.
So he's Darkest? The reincarnation of Darkest?
Now you
Or Vide?
shall know it. Oboro. All I did to prevent the tide of darkness that waits on the morrow from reaching us. Within this blade slumbers the power of the shadow. The power to quench the flames.
So, Kazan's the mastermind behind it all, it looks like.
Such a feat cannot be accomplished without a sacrifice. The accursed blood of Darkest. If not for its taint, we may have seen a desert free from the stain of crimson. And now, I end this. Hikari. Goodbye, old friend. This world's end calls to me.
You're a bastard, Obado.
You shall have the world you envisioned. A world without bloodshed.
Yes, but a world without people is not much of a world either.
For oblivion shall bring peace.
Called it. I am just the caller of things. The first sacred flame burns anew. Kazan. Mugen's rebellion, the razing of the city, even my ascent to the throne. Were they all just more of your plots? Were we all playing into your hands? How many of my friends died because of you? Hikari. Ever since I was a child, I spoke with him about the future I envisioned. A future without bloodshed. Were our ideals so different? Why did he do this? He aims to bring an end to the world. We have to stop him. Together. We will. We will lead everyone toward the dawn. Alright. So, there's one flame burning anew. The next one is going to be in... Where the hell is the Fell Sun Ruins? There they are. Let's go to the Fell Sun Ruins next. Yeah, we have to go through all these cutscenes and stuff. I think there's a couple of bosses here. And then the final boss that requires us to use all 8 homies. Are you ready to use all 8 homies?
Yeah,
I'm not. That's why I had to grind.
I know.
Ugh.
Here I come. Time together now. Watch this. Sorry. It's my turn now.
Oh, yeah, that's a beat.
Too slow.
Reduce them to ash. You're finished.
Reduce them
I've
to
seen
ass.
worse methods.
Okay. Back into the Fell Sun Ruins to learn about that sacred flame. I think this one was Throne and Temenos?
Out of my way.
No.
Alright. Together now. Watch this.
This one was just Temenos.
Bring it on. Splash.
Oof.
Alright.
Damn.
Thinking time.
Murder.
Agya and Viti.
Thank you.
I've seen worse methods.
Well, this one have a boss. I don't know. So that clouding mirror is telling us something. A journal fragment. I did it, diary. I finally got hired as a scrivener for the Delsta Times, too. All the world's information flows through a newspaper. A river of facts alongside a paper water wheel. An endless procession of scoop, scoop, scoop. As a journalist, I'll dash about the world investigating, uncovering, and breaking news. What better way for me to carry out my mission? I've thought about this a lot, and everyone has some fact they're hiding. Vast sums of knowledge locked in noggins the world over. But how to crack open these repositories and acquire those tasty secrets within? That's the rub, of course. As I am now, I doubt I have the dexterity to pick any of those cranial locks. I was raised in isolation, always out of the loop, hiding quietly on the outskirts of society. There's a positive way to spin that, though. I spent all the time that I wasn't talking to people, observing them. Here's what I learned. People let their guard down around cute little animals. A scowling guard captain will play cuddly coo with an adorable puppy, and soon confess all his gripes to the precious thing. And so I will become the puppy. I'll wag my little doggy tail, act a part of the friendly, non-threatening furball, and slide right into people's confidences. My brother may be the soaring eagle with his bird's eye view, but I'll be a sharp-eyed hound, keeping my nose to the ground and sniffing out every last detail I can find. Oh, shit! Okay, let's process this. So, Kazan was known as the Eagle of Ku, so that's the brother she's talking about. Okay? The guy we just saw, Obero?
Yeah.
So, do you remember in Partitio's story that cute little scrivener Ori who was always following us and writing down stuff, following Partitio's exploits and writing about him?
Yeah.
Do you know what she was?
A spy.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could say it if you want to just jump to the end. She was the scrivener for the Delsta Times. But in New Delsta, where we met Throne, do you know what Throne's cute little friend was?
No.
To recruit Throne, we had to stop some thugs from attacking a harmless little puppy.
Okay.
In New Delsta, where the scrivener works.
Oh.
So I'm beginning to think that she might be the puppy. Journal Fragment 2. My oldest memory is crimson, a spray of bright red droplets and a harrowing scream. A crowd fleeing in all directions and enemy soldiers mercilessly cutting down innocents. Some of them even laughed as they did it. Amidst this, I was a stone, still in my tender years. I neither cried nor wept nor cowered, but merely watched the chaos unfold. Being raised in a war-torn land does things to an impressionable mind, and I suppose something has already broken inside of me. I would have died that day, cut down like the rest were it not for my brother. His cunning carved a path for us out of that hellish place. My brother is brilliant, so much so that the enemy king spared him if he would serve. Yet, despite his genius, despite how shrewd the plans he proposed were in their attempts to avoid bloodshed, the blood always flowed. Humans steal, they kill, they take and take and take. Lives, possessions, land, it's the stake of our nature, a simple fact of our existence. My brother and I have seen so much together, and we've both reached the same conclusion. The world doesn't deserve to see another dawn. The life of man is nasty, brutish, and ugly. Why not make it short? I need her on our side, and I need you to convince her that's a good idea. My brother's face was flushed as he handed me the letter addressed to Raimei. Perhaps he'd been in his cups? I didn't need to ask him why he would be celebrating. The fundraising in Montwise was going swimmingly. On my way home, I spotted Hikari. He's the key to everything in Ku. And if our machinations go according to plan, my brother will get what he's after. I doubt Hikari has a clue who I am. Another tactic proposed by my brother Dearest. No prior familiarity with me will help me move things along down the line. But though Hikari doesn't know anything about me, I certainly know a lot about him. Okay, maybe I was wrong then. Or not. Hikari has another side to him, a second personality that my brother says was born from his family's cursed lineage. Somewhere in the past, Clan Ku's blood mingled with that of the infamous Archmage Darkest, sparking a history of war and sacrifice. A more odious bloodline I do not know. As I passed Hikari in the street, for a moment I felt as if our eyes met. His gaze was steady and true, just as when he was a boy. How had that bright spark in his eyes not dimmed over time? He had seen the same horrors I had been through, the same terrible war. This is bad. Hikari was captured before I had the chance to deliver my brother's letter to Raimei. If Hikari is killed, it'll ruin everything and we'll have to start over from scratch. Clan Mei calls the Fortress of Stormhail its home. Coldest place in Celestia, and I hate it. Time is of the essence, yet this frigid blizzard is battering me like a leaf in the wind. If only I could take 2 steps without being blown 3 back. By the time I finally reached Stormhail, Hikari had already been released. I can only assume he managed to sway Raimei on his own. I handed my overdue missive to one of Raimei's retainers and quickly put that chilly place behind me.
Howdy there, friend.
Oh, this is getting deep, dear.
Now then, together now.
Are you ready for the evil darkness super death betrayers?
Yeah.
Yeehaw!
I don't think that you are ready for it.
I need a...
Yeah, no.
My turn. For the pride of Ku.
Oh, it doesn't sound like Ku has much pride, Hikari. Oswald is sentenced to life imprisonment. It took me a moment to process the judge's verdict. I blinked, doubting my ears. What was going on here? He was supposed to be executed, wasn't he? I ran as fast as I could to find Harvey. Yep. So Harvey is the one who set us up. I should have known. That swine had stuffed leaves into the judge's pockets to bribe him into that decision. Why? I want him to see the power of my perfected magic. That was his reason, the blatant fool. Pride. Worthless pride. We need the Book of Demons complete. What if Oswald somehow finds a way to interfere? When I gave my report to my brother, he simply said, just watch the spectacle unfold. Apparently, my brother had already taken Harvey's massive ego into account when he made his contract with the man. If that's the case, then I suppose this isn't a problem after all. Regardless, I should hurry and gather what information I can about Frigid Isle. I concealed myself among the chattering students and slipped into Harvey's lecture. The Book of Demons is nearly complete, so he was in a jovial mood. When I saw my chance, I gave Harvey the news. Oswald tried to escape Frigid Isle and died in the attempt. I thought the news would throw his high spirits off a cliff, but instead he just started giggling. It was creepy. When he finally settled down, he merely said, I need to prepare for my guest's arrival, and vanished back into his laboratory, humming cheerfully all the while. It's like he thinks Oswald is alive. Is Oswald alive? It can't be, and yet, if so, then he will come here to find Harvey and seek his vengeance. Wait, this could be perfect. I doubt Harvey will honor our agreement and hand over the Book of Demons without a fuss. If I can set those two against each other, it might create the perfect opportunity to slip in and swipe the book. I wonder if my brother had predicted this too. Harvey has left for a Dusk-Ruined Shrine. The remains of Archmage Darkest will provide the final piece that Harvey needs. The Book of Demons will soon be complete. I found a nice, cozy place to conceal myself, and sure enough, Oswald showed up. Just as predicted. The two fought it out, and I was able to retrieve the Book of Demons in the wake of their battle. There was one surprise, however. Harvey escaped alive. What was that bright flash of magic? A glimpse of force that may dwarf even that of the Book of Demons? That girl, does she have some special power within her? Oswald entrusted the girl Elena to his assistant before setting off on a journey. Like Alpatis, the blood of the Lumina family runs in Elena's veins. Okay, so I was right. Alpatis was of the Lumina clan, which was Oswald's wife. I'll need to continue monitoring her to watch for suspicious signs. Day after day, Elena sits at her desk and pours herself into her studies. A diligent girl, I suppose, but I am curious as to why her brow sometimes wrinkles as she cradles her head in her hands. Still, her eyes are bright and her gaze seemingly set off on some happy goal far off in the distance. A marked difference from when I saw her in Harvey's company. There was only worry and fear in her eyes then. My heart nearly leapt out of my throat when I heard the assistant's voice suddenly ring out behind me. Can I help you, miss? I immediately turned and tried to distract and dissemble with my tried and true cover story. Can I interest you in a newspaper subscription? She smiled, then, eyes warm, but I sensed a keen suspicion burning deep within those friendly eyes. I will not underestimate her again. No one else has ever noticed me when I didn't want to be found. I'll need to abandon my surveillance. Too risky. Besides, I've seen nothing suspect in all the time I've watched Elena. Might as well move on to more important matters. Well, here I am in Candlebrine. Word is that I can find someone who has the lost pages of the Book of Knight's original manuscript. Caldina, captain of the Sacred Guard, seems to be moving as an arcanate. predicted and assembling these pages. There's a potential problem, however. A nosy inquisitor named Temenos seems to have caught wind of all this. Arcanet has her eye on him, but I can only pray he doesn't make any problems for us. I'll need to be careful not to draw his attention, too. The Book of Night is close to being fully restored. Once it is, I'll need to move quickly to retrieve it and fulfill my mission. Allying myself with Arcanet was merely the easiest means to that end. My brother did tell me to be wary of her. However, he was quite forceful about it. I wonder why. Jesus Christ. Caldina, captain of the Sacred Guard, is driven by a lust for vengeance. To achieve that end, she seeks to make the power of the Shadow her own. And with the restored Book of Night in hand, she set out for the Twilight Shrine. Her naive dream of avenging her people will never become reality. Why, you ask, dear diary? Because the right Arcanet taught her is purposely flawed. So there I was, hiding in the shadows of the Twilight Shrine and waiting for the perfect opportunity. Lo and behold, Caldina's right went awry and she transformed into a most hideous form. No one told me I'd have to deal with some horrible monster. This is above my pay grade. Luckily, I had no need to fear. That Temenos showed up and handled Caldina's problem for me. I suppose Arcanet was behind this well-timed arrival. What a puppet master. Bravo. I finally understand why my brother warned me to keep an eye on her. I slipped down the ritual site after Temenos made his exit and retrieved the Book of Night. All that's left is to combine it with the Book of Demons and we'll be able to complete the Dark Blood Grimoire. Here I am, grand old Timberain, just in time for the coronation ceremony. Word on the street is that an apothecary named Trousseau is going to rain on the parade with a storm infused with shadow energy. His goal, and I quote, is to extend a hand and save all those in need. What a nice notion. Let's rewind the clock. It was 1 year ago that Trousseau lost hope in the future and started down this path. He was out gathering medicinal herbs when he stumbled into Lost Seed. There, he met Claude, who gave him the Book of Night. Claude was disappointed with the encounter. It seems he had swayed Trousseau to his side, but couldn't persuade an apothecary in the man's company. With a regretful sigh, he told me that the other apothecary's eyes were filled with a motherly strength, deep wells of kindness that belied a sense of fierce determination. What was her name again? Ah, yes, Casti. She stopped Trousseau, saw the people of Timberain to safety, and even dealt with the poisoned rain. As if that wasn't enough, she also managed to mix up medicine that could combat the shadow on the spot. Claude's intuition was right. Casti is someone to keep an eye on. My brother will need to know that we have another dangerous potential wrench in our plans. So, Claude is like everybody's father. Like, legitimately everybody's father.
Oh, okay.
So, in Throne Age story, we had to go kill our adopted father, and our adopted mother, also known as mother. We killed them to get the 2 keys to our collar that didn't fit. Through that time, we learned that father actually was engaged to our mother, who basically aborted their son and fell in love with Claude. And Claude has been around for centuries, literally sowing seeds and impregnating hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of women, all to make a garden that will self-sustain itself, with all his kids killing each other to try and reach him and kill him.
Oh.
And it's fucking crazy, man.
That is crazy.
Yep. Yep. This is the, So this makes sense now. This is making me think this is Ori. I met a merchant today in Clockbank, an honest fellow with laughing eyes named Particio. He's boasted that he'll rustle up 80 billion leads and buy the rights to the steam engine from its current owner, Mr. Rock. Then he'll give the technology away to everyone. When pressed on why, he said, things like this should be shared with the world. Particio confuses me. If I can borrow that ruthless Rock's words, it is human nature to take from others and give unto oneself. Oh, man. Despite his noble declarations, I'm sure Particio will prove himself no different from the other slime. Greed and self-interest will win out in the end. They always do. Still, I'm vaguely curious as to how his story will play out. I'll follow this Particio, though I'll keep my expectations low. Placing your faith in others only gets you betrayed in the end. My brother made a deal with Harvey, craft the Book of Demons, an evil tome said to be imbued with the magic of Darkest himself. Why, you ask? Well, dear diary, because we needed to restore the lost Dark Blood Grimoire. The rub here is that neither my brilliant brother nor even Claude knows how to make this tome, thus the need for Harvey. The one thing my brother does know is that the remains of Darkest are a key component. When I shared that vital tidbit, Harvey smiled. That's all I needed. It sounds like he was already most of the way there. He's a valuable asset, so we'll do everything we can to assist him. Harvey has an unhealthy obsession with a scholar named Oswald. No, let's call it what it is, a severe inferiority complex. Harvey told me he'd gladly give up the Dawn if it meant he could best the man. We let Harvey read the Book of Night in order to pull him into our intrigues. But honestly, I think it wasn't necessary. That bottomless well of envy in his gut, properly manipulated, would have likely been motivation enough. Besides, I don't trust him. No normal person can fathom that twisted mind of his. Particcio's gone and done it. He has gone and done it. He's humbled Rock and actually wrested the rights of the steam engine from that greedy tycoon. Still, that's nothing compared to what he did next. He actually gave it away, just as he said he would. Things like this should be shared with the world. He's lived up to that grandiose statement and then some. The heat of his passion even melted Rock's icy heart, and I didn't think the desert sun was hot enough to do that. So, taking a step back, what Particio did is impossible, unimaginable, inconceivable. I've observed countless people in my time, and to date, every one of them is motivated to varying degrees by self-interest. People are always willing to step on others to achieve their own interests. But Particio, is he truly different? Is he someone who can at last transform this dark, ugly world into something wonderful? What do you think, brother? Welcome to my humble castle. That was how he greeted me when I arrived in Lost Seed, before he took me on a casual stroll through that rotting mausoleum of a town. I struggled not to gag on the stench of death and decay, all the while him smiling and breathing deep as if the airs of a tranquil mountain meadow. The ghastly man's name is Claude, and he is a descendant of the infamous Archmage Darkest. It is said that his notorious grandfather gave him a taste of the blood of the malevolent god of darkness, Vide, frighteningly enough while he was still in the womb. As a result, the man is blessed with eternal youth. With the blood of Darkest and Vide within his veins, Claude's fate was to become the Dark God's vessel, and yet he rejected this destiny and instead chose to pass that honor on to his offspring. For our part, we don't care who the vessel is, just that we have one. Claude, however, seems to have preferences in the matter. Preferences. Fa! The man sired countless children with countless women and set his progeny at each other's throats. To the bloody victor goes the ultimate spoils. I shivered as he looked me up and down, his eyes seemingly to pierce my very soul. It was as if he was seeking to plant a murderous seed inside me, too. When he handed me the dark blood staff, he told me that the woman who stole it for him has a lot of potential. His words. My purpose and lost seed fulfilled, I hurried out of there. I can't wait to hand the staff over to Arcanet and let her handle the cathedral's sacred flame. So, is Mint, our friend, is she Arcanet? Dear Diary, today I met with Petrichor, the woman known as the Dark Hunter. I had introduced her to Professor Harvey several years ago at Arcanet's request. She was talkative today and had this to say. I met Arcanet when I was young, and it was then that I swore myself to her service. Ever since, I have hunted for her and her alone, even slaying the legendary monster known as the Guardian of the First Flames at her behest. Sometimes I hunted people, too. Like the time I came to possess the Dark Blood Bow. Once again, my lady has use of me, and so I shall gladly obey. I nodded along, and when she was finished, she showed me a monster. The beast, which she had captured on Totohaha, looked out at me with eyes filled with loathing for all that walked on this earth. I asked her what it was, and she told me the result of years of brutal conditioning and a healthy dose of Harvey's science for good measure. The result, an abomination crafted through repeated and horrifying experiments. I nodded again. A soul this steeped in despair would surely prove to be a great source of power. It seems that leaving the flame of Totohaha in her care should prove no issue. A statue of Befelgen, the traitor. Oh, no. Not you. Let the mirror shine. No, I gotta get this. I can't believe it. How did Particio turn that economic desert of a town into a hopping commercial hub? That business idea of his was inspired. I must admit that watching Allron's department store come to life woke something warm inside of me. I told Particio that the world's filled with people groaning under the weight of 1,000 problems. It's fresh ideas like this that bring a ray of joy into the troubled lives. For once, I really truly meant what I said. I should never have poured my heart out in public like that. I suppose my declaration was proof that he's cracked my emotional defenses and convinced me to believe in him. In my defense, he's really something else. Before I knew it, I was promising to help. Truth is, I'm excited to see what magic he'll pull out of his Particio hat next. Guess what, dear diary? This is the first time I've ever helped someone for something that wasn't directly related to my mission. Let me stop for a moment and also appreciate the fact that he convinced the Elrond to invest 80 billion leaves in him. 80 billion. The question is, will Partitia prove to be a man of integrity? Will he really use those leaves to help out the world and not just line his own pockets? Just a little bit longer. Only a bit, mind. I find myself needing to see what he does next. And that's all the journal entries of Ori the Scrivener. Holy shit. She has been going through some times, dear.
Magia and greeting.
Yep.
What'd you think of all that?
It's my turn.
It's crazy. Like, they had their myths and everything. Like, they knew a lot about what was going on to, like, all these people, the master. Like, they knew, like, the masterminds, the plans.
Yeah, the shenanigans happened the whole time. Alright, so Befelgen is the merchant. And so Alifon and Befelgen. Cool. So now I can relight this because I have my merchant Befelgen stuff. Alright, let's hear some memories of the Sacred Flame. Yep, that is Ori the Scrivener.
Now what have we got here?
So she was the puppers.
A sacred flame? Here of all places? Have I stumbled upon a scoop once again? Why, I believe I have. I'm glad that's done. There's no need to keep up this cloying facade. To wear the mask of a chipper, unflappable scrivener. No. Now I bring an end to this dark, wretched world. To liberate its people from their pain, their suffering, and their hatred. Just like I swore to you, brother. Together, we will usher in the night.
Not the night.
I kept a close eye on the travelers. All while my allies and I worked behind the scenes. Until at last, I found the book I sought. The Dark Blood Grimoire. With it, I will smother the sacred flames, that they will never again light the way for the dawn. I offer this gift of blood. May the flames turn cold and dark.
Oh shit.
Mortals. Gods. Who was it that drew the line between them?
Me.
The blessed? The accursed? Us? Them? Bertitio. Would that we had never met. I'm sorry, brother.
Second sacred flame lights anew. Ori. I heard from an apothecary in town. A woman was found collapsed near the sacred flame and brought here for treatment. Or brought there for treatment. She had brown hair and wore a cap, much like a scrivener. After she regained consciousness, she simply vanished. That's Ori. It's gotta be. But if that's true, then what saved her? It appears her wounds fell just short of being fatal. She must have changed her mind, just in the nick of time. She saw the worth in walking toward the dawn. Well, I can hazard a guess as to why she hesitated. I believe it was thoughts of you that saved her life. Me? Now don't be ridiculous, like I'd have anything to do with that. Well, no matter, as long as she's alive, all's well. But just where did she wander off to? Yeah, I sure am lucky that you're around to cheer me up, eh? Our journey isn't over. We'd do well not to waste time in idle conversation. But if you must talk, then perhaps a different topic of conversation would suffice. Oswald, thank you kindly. Alright, so we're done here. Next time, we're going to go relight the other 2 sacred flames. Until then.